Hi folks, 7 o'clock, it's that time. It's time for the 7 o'clock show, appropriately. Just wait for some people to get on board and we'll start talking. There's no point in me starting until people are here. Hello Laura, how you doing, you alright? Yeah, we've got 11 people on. Hello Amanda. I'll get the hellos out of the way very quickly. See how many people we get on. If we get a lot of people, obviously I won't be able to say hello to everyone one by one. So hello Amanda, hello Laura, hello Tara, hello Becky, all the usuals. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you've had hello Oki. Hope you've had good weekends. Hello Laura. Forgot to turn off me. Hello Andy. Turn off me doodahs. Oh, hello Sarah. Hello Claire. Hello Vivian. Hello Vivian. Yeah, I hope you're all good. Hello, sounds like Sarah. The first and only time. Yeah, hello Stefan. All right. So tonight, I'm sure most of you know it's going to be different from other shows. Hello Mia. So tonight, not a lot of the fun stuff tonight. There's no quizzes, no poems. Though I'm going to reference a poem that I did before, that I wrote in 1996 actually, that I thought wouldn't be relevant, but it turns out it is. It's called Waking Up to Reality, but we'll come back to that later. Hello Ian, hello Julie, hello Twinny, how you doing guys? Hello Lee, hello mate, how you doing? Hello Russ, hello Loretta. So I'm sort of pausing a little bit here because I think there might be a few people on, but I might as well, it doesn't matter if I have to repeat myself anyway. So a little bit of background. I think probably everyone that's on here knows what's happened this weekend. I think most of you will have been on my page. Most of you have responded. I've spoken to a lot of you. But just to reiterate, yeah, so I have 4 daughters, as some of you may. Carys is my eldest daughter. Carys is 29, was born in Colchester when we lived there. And she's back in Colchester now, but moved. She went to school in Chelmsford. Hello, Jim. Hello, Sam. Hello. Went to school in Chelmsford. That's where she met all her friends, basically. She lived in Great Baddow, and all her friends from childhood, all in and around the Chelmsford area. And, I think she'll say herself that it's not always been plain sailing being mixed race in Chelmsford, but, she's a very popular girl. I think it's fair to say she has had a good friendship group. So, very quickly, what happened was, and again, I'm sure most of you have seen, on Friday night, she was speaking to a friend about another friend, actually. In fact, she was saying some good things about the other friend. And the other friend sort of said, not so sure. The bits and pieces don't matter. The upshot of it is that she was shown a series of WhatsApp messages in a WhatsApp group of lads. And these messages, you've seen them. If you haven't seen them, have a look. I think most of you are. But they were no short disgusting. They were basically disgusting, the messages. Most of you have seen them, so you know what I'm talking about. They were despicable. They were the sort of racism I would expect from hardened, hardcore racists. That's what I would expect. The sort of language, tell her to go back home to the Congo, go back home, fucking showing little clips of Hello Aussie. I don't know if you know about this, Aussie. Little clips of 70s shows like Love Thy Neighbour, and little clip of Grange Hill when little Benny was very upset about something and they seemed to think that was funny. There was also a lot of sexism on there. Now, I'm not an angel, right? Let's have this right. I'm not going to pretend I'm. You all know me. I've always been a bit of a geezer. I'm very much like those guys. Let's have it right. Let's have it right? I'm no angel. I say stuff in my little friendship groups about probably inappropriate things, that lads speak about. Maybe I'll have a rethink about them, actually. But they're never about an individual, ever. Never, ever is anything we said about an individual that we know or don't know. Never about an individual. In this instant, this was about their friend. Now, the problem with this for me is it's their friend. Their friend. These guys have been friends for years. They've had each other's backs, etc., right? And it isn't like they were friends who haven't seen each other for years. They were friends who saw each other the day before that. So they were friends, and some of this stuff was despicable. If you haven't seen it, say get a look. I think most of you have seen it. So tonight, so I saw this Friday night. She, needless to say, was upset. Well, you can imagine how upset she was. Spread around our family very quickly. Obviously, I had a look at it. I was angry, to say the least. Angry and upset, and my mates are ringing me up and getting in touch with people are saying, where do they live, where are they, blah blah blah. Obviously part of me wanted to deal with that in that way, but doesn't serve anything, does it? Because they have parents as well. So, you know, what do you start? You start something, right? So I thought what to do. Didn't know. I know one's mum. He normally watches on here. I won't name her, it's not fair, but she normally watches on here. I spoke to one's mum for quite some time, and I texted messaged another who I know through some football thing we did. I decided that in my anger, I thought, what am I going to do? So I thought, I want to see them all face to face. I want to see them all face to face. That's what I decided to do. So I suggested to one I know that we have a meet, all six, 7, 8, I can't remember any other. Let's get together. I want to see them all. I said I'll come on my own. I want to look you in the eye. I want to know these things you're saying about my daughter. I want you to say anyway. Long story short, a couple of them wanted to meet, most of them didn't. Whatever. Upshot was that the couple that did want to meet, we ended up meeting today. I met individually. So we met the first one, and his wife came along. His wife had previously contacted Carys. His wife is a lovely woman. Let's have it right. Lovely woman, and she was very upset. And she spoke to. I should also add, Carys had been contacted by a few of them. She was contacted by a mum, I believe, a mum and a wife, and another wife, I think. The guys who did it, I believe 2 of them apologised directly on the day. I'm not sure about all the details, but I know a couple of them apologised today. This happened Friday night. A couple of them apologised today. And the tone of one of the... I was there on Saturday morning in Gabby's house, my second daughter's house, and the tone of the message that one of the wives sent to Carys was, take this down, you're ruining people's lives. Take this down from Facebook, you're ruining... But I'll let that just sink in a bit. So your husband has been online writing heinous, racist, misogynistic, sexist shit on a group text, and you're saying, take it down, you're ruining people's lives. Because at that point, prior to that, I'd thought about saying to Carys, take it down. At that point, I'd thought, take it down because I don't want people getting in trouble. Because that's the way I think. I don't want people getting into trouble. You know, that's what I thought. And then when I heard that, don't people really... And someone else, I had another chat with someone, it was like... And I just thought, you know what? Fuck you, really. I thought, not only am I not taking it down, I'm going to share it on people, or at least I'm going to allow people to see it, because I obviously know a lot of people. And that's what's happened now. And now, all you lot, you've had it, you've shared it. My cousin who's at the BBC, he's one of the top, Ace basically, who's one of the top DJs for BBC Radio Extra, I believe it's called. And so he's got it now. A couple of prominent comedians have been in touch with me. They have it. So, sorry if it's ruined your life. You know, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. You should have thought about that, shouldn't you? Because there was a point at which I felt a bit, believe it or not, I felt a bit sorry for these guys, because I thought they were probably a bit pissed up, being a bit laddish, got out of hand. Carys was really upset about it. I just thought, just for a minute, I thought, I'll try and sort this out. You know, I'll talk to them. I'll sort this out. So, you know, sort of least damage limitation, I thought. But after that conversation, you're ruining people's life. I thought, nah. And the guy who brought it to Carys' attention, apparently he's been getting threats. Apparently. So, you know, I've talked to people about that. So, including him. And I said, basically, look, as far as I'm concerned, mate, what you did makes you one of my family. As far as I'm concerned, that makes you one of my family. So, just know that. So, I went down there today and I spoke to two of them with Carys and Carys's boyfriend. Yeah, we spoke to her, and the first one came along with his wife, and she was a lovely girl. I cannot stress enough, this girl, his wife, what a lovely woman, what a lovely person. And she was ashamed of what her husband had done. She wants nothing to do with these people. They're not her kind of people. She just can't, you know, she was a lovely... I haven't told the police, Claire. By the way, I will answer your questions. By the way, I haven't told the police. I'll talk about that. But anyway, so I spoke to them, and she was lovely. We got there, and soon as Carys saw this guy, it's really hit home to me because... not a good thing to do. Martin, let me... Hang on. I was sharing a good thing. Sorry, I'm writing it down. No, I need to come back to that. So I need to answer that. Martin, you said, wasn't sharing it online a good thing to do? We'll see, Martin, is my answer to that. Because I thought, before today, that all her friends were her friends, right? Now, it would seem they're not. Now, in terms of sharing it online, all right, let's say she didn't share it online. What would have happened, Martin, do you think? If she hadn't put the fear of God in them, what do you think would have happened? You know, two of them only wanted to meet me to sort it out, you know. I get the impression they've set up a separate group now. Can you imagine the sort of conversation that's going on? So when one of them kindly said, look, Carys' dad wants to meet up, and the other said no, do you think they said... No, actually, no, I'd rather not. I don't think they said that, mate. I don't think they said that. I think they probably said, fuck him. That's what I think they said. Followed by a few other things. That's what I think they probably said, right? So, whilst I'm not into airing my dirty laundry normally, but do I think it was worth it? Yeah, because I think people needed to know. I think people, because I've always said, I've always been the first one to say, no, right, you know, if something's happened, I'm always the first one to say, no, that isn't racism. You know, in terms of playing the race card, that's way, way back for me, the race card. But what I saw today from one of them's in a very prominent position made me think, well, if you're doing your job and you think that way, then, you know, when some kid runs back to someone else and saying it was racism, and I'll be the first one to say, no, I don't, no, you can't play, no, it's not racism. Maybe I'm wrong. And sharing it, as exposed that. Sorry, Carys is on. Let me just read what Carys said. I'm only getting apologies from some people today because they've felt the consequence of their actions. If I hadn't have shared it, no apologies would have been received. Exactly. If it hadn't been shared, these people wouldn't be shitting themselves now because they're worried about their jobs. Yeah? They're worried about consequences. Now, when I'm talking about consequences, let me make it clear. When I talk about consequences, I'm not talking about what a lot of people are talking about, right? I'm not talking about taking it to the streets, as the phrase has it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm beyond that. I'm better than that. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you make comments like that, right? You've got a job. You're responsible. It's got out. And now you've got to worry about it. You've got to worry. You know what? I hope it doesn't. I actually don't want it to ruin their lives. But I do want them to worry about it. I want them to worry for some time. Tamsin, a lot of people are saying to me, take it to the police. I don't know if it's a police matter because it wasn't on a public forum. But you know what? If a load of, let's say, some Muslim fundamentalists, let's say, were sharing some stuff in a private group about doing some harm, right? You'd want it shared, wouldn't you? You'd want it shared. And you'd want the police to know. And when the police knew, these people would go on a watch list, wouldn't they? I think they would. So maybe these guys that we thought were great guys after all, maybe, especially some of them, are actually out and out racist, and maybe the police need to know their names. So if anything does happen along those lines, then, yeah. So maybe, Martin, are you not on their side? I know you're not on their side, Martin. People can get physically... Yeah, you're right, Martin. People can get... Yeah, you know, Martin, do you know what? They can. I hope that doesn't happen, Martin. Certainly, everyone I've spoke to, I've encouraged that not to be the case. But if it hadn't been shared online, Martin, then, you know, Carys actually, obviously, would have told her friends. It would have got around, not to the extent it has, but certainly in a localised way. She would have told me, wouldn't she? She would have told me, Martin, definitely. And what do you think I would have done? Do you think I wouldn't have told people? Yeah. So in a way, by going online, I'm able then to speak and say no. But if she'd have told me, if online didn't exist, let's say Facebook and all this didn't exist, and she'd have told me personally, I'd have had to do something. Now, me, my little self, I'm not going to go knock on their jobs and say, hello, your mate's been a bit racist. No. But go online, it gives it power. It spreads it, and it gives it power. This is an example of something that many people, most of my friends, right? Most of my friends are, I think, I hope they're not racist, right? I hope they're not racist. But a couple of mates in particular, in fact, my best friends, we've had this conversation, and because they haven't got a racist bone in their body, these guys, they haven't. So when I've talked about it, they were shocked by it. They didn't know. They were absolutely stunned by it. And I think that probably goes for some of you. You're like, Christ, really? Do you know what I mean? Really? And I've been the same way myself. I've grown up, and I think maybe I've grown up a little bit blind. I think I've grown up a little bit blind, because when I go back to Tolsbury, the village I grew up in, right? If you ever hear me talking about my upbringing, I always say I had a wonderful upbringing. And I'm going to say that because that is the truth. I had a wonderful upbringing. And I always try out the phrase, I could count the instances of racism on two hands. I always trot that phrase out proudly. Proudly. Just proudly. And yeah, I'm exaggerating to the negative. Do you know what I mean? It's obviously more than two hands. It's more than 10 times. Might be 20 times, might be 30 times. But I always trot that out as, it was great there. It was great. And it was. And my friends who come from the village and come from the area, I love you all, right? You've never did me any harm. You're great friends to me. No two ways about it. No two ways about it. But when I see this, I went to Tolsbury, and there's a girl down there, a woman down there, who, when I talk about it, she says to me every time I see her, and there's one time too, she annoyed me about it, because we're chatting away and she said, yeah, because you had it bad, didn't you? Yeah, when you were a kid. I said, no, I didn't. I had a wonderful childhood. She was insistent. She said, no, all the racism there, it was terrible. She said, I hated it. I said, no, I didn't. And you know what? In my head, I didn't. So either I blanked it out, or it happened when I wasn't there. It didn't happen to my face, right? One of the two, probably the latter. So, she saw it. She saw it. Cheers, Paul. She saw it, right? Now, what's happened at the weekend to my daughter is now taking my blinkers off. And I'm hoping it's taking a lot of other people's blinkers off. You know me, people. You know me. I'm a happy-go-lucky character. And I never go on about this shit. Never do I have to go on about this shit. But it's happened to my daughter, and it's come from her friends. It's come from her, inverted commas, obviously. So, do you know what I mean? Like, anyway, right, so let's go back to the meeting. So we spoke to the first guy. I'm not going to say his name, doesn't matter. We spoke to the first guy, and I genuinely believe he was sorry. He's to say his wife was there. She was ashamed. We talked, and do you know what I liked about him, though? This is what I liked about him. He asked questions, right? He sat down, and he looked at me in the eye, and he said, I've got some questions, because there are things I don't understand. The first thing Carys said to him was, Black Lives Matter. I'm getting fed up with that phrase, but I'm getting fed up with a lot of phrases. Doesn't mean I'm fed up with the movement. I'm just fed up with having to say the fucking phrase. I'm fed up with having to say people are starving when millionaires thrive. Do you know what I mean? Just because you're fed up with something doesn't mean to say it doesn't need talking about. I'm just fed up with saying it. But anyway, so she said Black Lives Matter. Do you understand it? And he said, honestly, no, I don't really understand it. So I don't really understand it. And I like that. I like the fact, though, that he said, no, I don't understand it. And there were things he didn't understand. And do you know what? Why should he understand it? Right? Understand something about ignorance. Ignorance is an insulting word. But actually, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Do you know why? Because all ignorance is not knowing. Right? You're all ignorant unless you know. I'm ignorant of certain things. I don't know what it's like to be a homosexual because I am not one. Therefore, I'm ignorant of their struggles, right? You don't know. So to be ignorant isn't a thing. So he was ignorant of some things. And I very simply put something to it. Put a couple of things to it. I'm going to say that thing again that I said to you lot the other day, right? I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I just want this to go in. I want this to sink in, right? So I want this deeply to sink in. And that's this. This isn't half of this comes from me, half of it doesn't. The first half doesn't. And that is, it was some American girl. She was from the South, a white girl, and she was chatting away. And she said something brilliant. She said something brilliant. It was very simple. And she said this, right? She said, don't be upset. I'm talking now about people saying white lives matter, all lives matter, right? Of course they fucking do, you idiot. Of course they do. No one said they didn't. But this girl says it succinctly. It's brilliant. All she says is, right, don't be annoyed. Don't be upset you don't have a movement. So white lives matter. Don't be upset that doesn't exist. Don't be upset you don't have a movement. Be glad you don't need one. Be glad you don't need one. It's Black Lives Matter. Do you think anyone wants? Do you think I want to hear this shit? Black Lives Matter. Do you think I want to hear that? Because I can hear it. Shouldn't exist, should it? Because we should know now in 2020, of course they matter. Yeah? There was a time when everyone was ignorant. Do you know what I mean? There was a time all this time ago, they believed we were animals, blah, blah. We know all this, right? I'm not going to go over it. They actually believed that. Have we not learned the difference now? It would seem not. So that's why it exists. Don't be annoyed that you haven't got a movement. Be glad you don't need one. And my part of that is, and I back this up by saying, we have gay pride, don't we? Right? We have gay pride. There's not a straight pride, is there? Because we don't need it, straight people, do we? Eh? Isn't that exactly the same thing? Because we don't need it. White people, you don't need a movement. In the same way, but people would say to me, oh, you know, there's a, they've just opened a West Indian club. Just opened a West Indian club. Just opened a bleeding Sikh club. Just opened a P-word club down the road. Yeah, it's not fair. We don't get a club, do we? No, of course you don't get a club, you fucking idiot. Because every club is a white man's club, isn't it? The only reason these people, these oppressed minorities, have clubs is because they weren't allowed in your club, were they? So they had to have their own club, or they didn't ever know where to go. That's how it started. Trust me, look at your history if you don't believe it. That's how these clubs, that's the only reason these groups started, because they weren't allowed in your group. And when I say your group, most of you, I think, nearly all of you on here, there's 82 of you on here, I think probably 80 of you are white. You understand what I mean when I say your group, right? You know I don't mean you. You know what I'm saying, right? So that's why these things exist. Don't be upset you haven't got a movement. Be glad you don't fucking need one, right? We don't have straight lives matter. There isn't an adult line. You get child line, don't we? Don't get an adult line, do we? Because we don't need it. It's not Battersea fucking people's home, is there? Eh? Because you don't need it, do you? Do you know what I mean? Because they're not oppressed. International Women's Day. There is an International Men's Day, but that was only set up tongue-in-cheek. The reason there was an International Women's Day because women needed it, because they have been an oppressed part of society. That's why there was an International Women's Day. There was a time not that long ago when it was perfectly reasonable to give your wife a right-hander. It was encouraged to keep her in line, right? That's why these things come about, for oppressed people. Black people, whether you like it or not, have been oppressed and are still being oppressed, right? Now, I'm not saying that... I'm saying black people don't do bad things. Of course they do. But all I'm saying is it's about being treated equally, and they're not. I thought we were. I'm an idiot. I thought we were because I feel I have been. But clearly other people haven't, and my daughter wasn't the other night. And that's how this has come about. So anyway, yeah, sorry. So spoke to him, and the first guy and his wife, they went away, and I felt, you know what? This guy, I felt, and I'll say to you, mate, who was talking about this, if there's any repercussions for him in his work or where, I would be more than willing, I know Carys would, to go to his workplace and stand up for him. Because I felt that he made a mistake. I felt he regrets it, and he came and he fronted it. And what more can he do? You've done it now. You can't go back. So it's rubbish. You know, we can't do that. What can he do? He can apologise. And he looked at me in the eye, and he stood there in front of me, and her boyfriend, by the way, who he insulted. And he, you know, so he had to stand in front of him, and in front of his girlfriend, who was crying. So his wife, who was crying, the poor girl. And so you know what? Thanks, Dave. So yeah. So for him. Yeah, if needs be, I'll go and I will do, if there's anything I can do, I will do it. So, second guy we met, you've asked me, you wanted to know. Second guy we met, he's one I don't know him, I have contact with him over socials because we set up a football competition. It's the first time I've actually met face to face. But anyway, Carys was a bit upset because of all of them, he was the closest friend. I will also say, though, of all of them, he was the one who said the least. He didn't actually say anything inflammatory or insulting. He laughed, however. So he was complicit, and he agrees with that, right? He agrees with that, and he hands up to that. I think he was very much, I've got it coming. I think he'd almost rather, and he did say it, he'd almost rather, quite honestly, that I'd turned up with a bunch of my mates who all fancied it, by the way, and you know, dealt with him. I think he would have rather that because he's lost a friend, he's lost a dear friend, and I think he's genuinely upset about that. Whether he'll leave that group of friends, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend it's easy to leave your friends. I've got friends that I've had since we were kids. Do I like them anymore? Do I think they're the kind of people I would chosen to be friends with now? No offence to you lot on here, obviously. But there's certain people from my childhood who, honestly, would I be friends with them now? Would I choose that? No, I wouldn't, because they're just not they don't think the way I think, you know. So I wouldn't. But I know I call them friends. So will he be able to leave that group of friends? Will I? I'm not sure if they will or not. But what they can do, they can... If they mean it, I can say, guys, you know, if they really mean it, I can say, guys, come on, It's saying, right, what we're saying here, what we're doing, it's just not right, is it? Is it? Think about it, is it right? Because, by the way, Carys isn't their only non-white friend. I should add that. They've got other BME friends as well, you know? So, I don't know. I know for me, right, I'm a summer lad. You guys know me. I can't lie to you. And I say stuff, especially in our private, I say different things. But I know now, you know, certainly if anything's personal, I now would have the courage to sort of say, because there are times when people say stuff that I actually don't agree with, but I don't say anything because I'm Jerry the laugh, and I'm Jerry, you know what I mean? Jerry's a bit of a laugh and he's a bit of a geezer, and I kind of like that handle, you know. But there are times when people say, and now, thanks to this guy who brought it to Carys' attention, what a hero, I should have told him to watch tonight, what a hero he is, and he's an inspiration, I think. He's genuine inspiration. And maybe you like, you know, when you're... do I reckon they should lose their jobs, Martin? No. Do I think they should lose their jobs? Actually, no, I don't. I don't. I think their employers should know, though. That's what I think. I think it should be a yellow card situation. Do you know what I mean? I think that, yeah, I think their employers should know, and I don't think they should lose their jobs, because losing your job could, you know, it's going to ruin your life. They'll get other jobs, but I don't know. No. If it's all right, if I had to come down one way or the other, and it's close. Do you know what I'm saying? It's close, but probably I would say no. I don't want them to lose their jobs. I don't. I want the wind put up them. There's a couple in particular who have got a bit of form, maybe, but I guess it's got to be one rule for one rule for them all, I guess. But no, personally, I'd rather they didn't use it. I know, the thing is with the teacher, you know, you see as you'll say it, I might as well say it, I don't think it matters. He was, of all of them, is the one who is the most, yes, one's a teacher, Sarah, is the most sorry, and the one who I feel, he was the one who faced me, actually. He was the one who faced me. And do you know what? I looked at him because I thought, you're just here because you're protecting your arse, mate, aren't you? And you know, he said, I do believe him, actually. He said he knows that, and if it happens, it happens. He wasn't asking us to get involved. He wasn't asking for, he wasn't even asking for forgiveness. He wasn't doing that. So, I don't know, I feel, him anyway, I feel inclined to give him a second chance. I think that this experience will make him a better teacher, actually. I mean that. I genuinely mean that. Maybe I'm wrong. I genuinely mean that I think this experience will make him a better teacher. I do. I hope I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being soft here. But that's what I believe. Yeah, I do. I believe that. I could be wrong. I don't know. So yeah, and I spoke to the other guy, and you know, and like I said, I kind of know him, and I just hope they're being genuine. I'm not taking piss, you know. The other lot, who knows? Yeah, you're right, Nick. I get that. Yeah, you know, because the thing is, she's lost her friends. Do you know what I mean? It's not, well, friends. She's lost people who 4 days ago she thought were her friends. You know, that group now is gone. Not only that, there's an element of her and her sister. You know, they all go out in the same town. They all go out in Chelmsford. Pubs are opening next week. They're all going to be out there. You know, how's that going to be? I don't know. So there's an element of worry as well about that. So yeah, I mean, we'll see, but there is an element. Ricky, it's Claire there. Ricky Carys' boyfriend. You know, they all know each other. So is anything going to happen there? We hope not. The guy who obviously brought it to her attention. Is anything going to happen there? All these things. This isn't over. You know, this isn't over, and I hope not. I hope for their sakes nothing like that happens. You know, I really do. Yeah, Sarah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're either one or the other. Certainly the first guy, I genuinely, when I looked at, I don't know, it's just, I don't know. And as Lee says here, no one's born racist, right? We feed it into people. And let me tell you now, if any of you, and again, I'm going to assume you're not, but if any of you even have little thoughts about this kind of White Lives Matter, I hope what I've said has resonated. I hope you get it. I hope you get that. But also, do you not think that even if you're an out and out racist, and some of you will know racists, some of them are fathers, yes, waste, yeah. And this is where I'm going with this. Because if you're an out and out racist, let's say, right, are you doing your child any favours making them racist as well? Are you doing them any favours? Because I don't know about you, but I'm thinking, if I was a racist, every time I turn on the telly, right, every advert, 50% of the adverts, there's black people in them. Sport, you know, full of black people, obviously. TV, basically, entertainment, it's full of non-white people, right? Am I right? You know, it's probably 60-40 favouring white people, but there's a lot of, I'm just going to say black for the time being, because I can't keep saying BAME. There's a lot of black people on there, a lot of black people. These guys are all football. Every team you support, full of black people. You know what I mean? Music. You know, what genre doesn't have black people? Even country and western has a few in. Some rock bands, you know. So what a shite life it must be. Because isn't it horrible? You know when you hate something or somebody, it doesn't feel nice, does it? If you hate somebody, you know, like when you're at school, when you're at work, you hate something. It's not nice, is it? When you say you don't feel, oh, I'm really enjoying this feeling of hatred within me. I'm really enjoying that. So if you visit that upon your children, every time I turn on the telly, it must be like, I leave them off. Do you know what I mean? It must be constant. So you're not doing them any favours, are you? So if you know anyone like that, maybe it's too late for them, but Christ's sake, don't visit upon your kids, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of it, really. It's not as if they're kids. You're right, they're not kids. I mean, some people thought when they read it, some people were saying to me, oh, well, how old's your daughter? Is she 17? Or something. You know, people said to me, love chic. Yeah, Earth, Wind and Fire. But people saying to me, you know, teenagers, this, that. No, they're not teenagers. Carys is 29 years old and they all went to school together. So, okay, Gabby's just answered that. 28, 29 years old. These are grown men. I already had Carys. I had my first 2 kids by this time. These are grown men we're talking about. Isn't that a worry? They're grown men. These are dangerous people if they're thinking that way. I went to their pub yesterday. It wasn't open, but I was told when people found out I went to their pub, because, oh, you shouldn't go there. I shouldn't go there. There's a place in Essex where I grew up that I shouldn't go to because the people are a bit, you know what I mean? What? You people know me. Look, what place I can't go to? A place I can't go to. I work all over the world, right? I visit small little pubs in Scotland, in the north, in the west, in Wales. I have to go in there and I have to perform. Yes, okay, I'm performing at the time, but I'm still having to walk in there. I have to walk out there, and sometimes what I say might offend a few people when I'm on stage, but I still have to do it. I have to go in there, and there's no place. I'm not gonna. Fuck off. What? I'm not going. I shouldn't name the pub, Janet, because I shouldn't name the pub here anyway. But the point, you know, what are these people in the pub? And do you know what they do in this pub? Apparently, it's known for football. You know, football matches. They'll show football on a Sunday afternoon, I guess, or whatever. You know, football, the sport I love in the country I'm from. And if I wanted to watch that, I couldn't maybe go in there. I'm sorry. Do you know what I mean? Please. It is madness. It is crazy. Anyway, so what's the upshot of this? So I met 2 of them. I don't know how many exactly are in the group, about 8, I think. One of them spoke to Carys and said, "Look, my dad's in Chelmsford. Do you want to meet?" He was in Braintree at the time, and he said, I think he was a bit busy at the time. He said, "I'll come later." But it was basically, he didn't really, I don't know. I felt he should be saying, "Where are you? I'll come now." You know, wherever he was, I think he should have been, "Where are you? Yeah, I'll make the effort. I'll come now." That's what I think he should have been doing. That's what the other 2 did, you know. But he was a little bit, "Oh, well, I would have, if you'd have called me in the morning, I'd have come." You know, I think, really, mate? You're sorry, are you? Yeah? You're sorry? Yeah? Okay. And the others just didn't want to. So, I mean, one of them, I don't want to talk about this. I don't know. I mean, I find it hard to believe. one of them is clearly a racist. If he thinks he isn't, he's an out-and-out racist. If he thinks he is, he just is, right? He's done some things that are simply, they just are simply racist. So there's no two ways about it. And the police have been involved. And I'm not quite sure how he remained friends with Carys. I'm not sure how he wanted to be friends with Carys and some of their other friends. Why would you want to be? I don't understand. But anyway, so I don't expect there'll be any change from him. I don't know. He's the one who said that you'll work that out. If you've seen the message, you'll know what I'm talking about. He's the one who's got the worst things to say, the heinous things to say. Like go back to the fucking Congo. Go back to. That's another thing, by the way. And we're from, by the way, my parents from Ghana. Anyway, but that's another story. But that's another thing. This go back home thing. Let's just address that for a minute. So that was one of the comments that I used to get when I was a kid. I remember the phrase. No, I'm not going to say it, actually. No, I'm not going to say it. Hang on. What would you feel if any of them got injured, self-harmed over this? Going to have a big impact on their lives. What would I feel if any of them... I'm interested, Martin, where you... because I don't think we know each other. I'm interested how... Maybe... Do we know each other, Martin? I'm interested to know. But anyway, I'll answer your question. What would I feel if any of them got injured, self-harmed over this? Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to say to that. How would they feel, do you reckon? Right? Action, reaction. If Carys had self-harmed over this. Yeah. Okay, Martin, yeah. So, I'm a decent person, so... I'd hate to think of them. How would I feel? I'd feel bad. But... Moreover than that, I think, people are different, aren't they? And my daughter is a strong individual, you know what I mean? But we've not heard of people, haven't we, Martin? Maybe your experience is this, I don't know. But who have topped themselves over less than this, right? You met your friendship group, she's got a loving family, she's got a loving boyfriend, she's got loving friends, the real ones, I mean. So she's in a good place to receive this. But I know some people who couldn't have coped with that. Imagine, it's your friendship group and you thought they were your core. Do you know what I mean? They were your core. And then you saw that, right? So, Martin, how would I feel? I'd feel sorry because I'm that kind of guy. But, Yes, and one of them, yes, sorry, good point, Gabby. One of them in the comments, Martin, I don't know if you read the comments, but where I grew up, I went to school in a place called Malden-on-Sea, Martin. I don't know if you are from Essex, I don't know. Anyway, I went to a place called Malden-on-Sea. In Malden-on-Sea, there is there's a prom, and in the prom there is a Lido, a swimming pool, an outdoor swimming pool. And some years ago, a guy dived in the shallow end, hit his head and died, basically. And since then, the pool down the prom, we all went in as kids, has been closed. So one of the comments on the group, by the worst one, was, bearing in mind, she isn't like she'd done anything, but one of the comments was, I wish she was the one who jumped in the fucking pool and died. That was his comment. I wish she was one of them that had jumped in the pool and died. So, Martin, how do I feel if he harms himself? Yeah, I said I didn't want it, but quite frankly, I don't give a fuck, actually. I'm thinking about him for saying that. For him, I think the rules are slightly different for that guy, for me. Do you know what I mean? He's the one about go back to the fucking Congo, go back home. He's the one. Sorry, so him, no, I'm different. For him, different. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit for him. Right? That's how I feel about that guy. That's how I feel about him. He's a bad man, apparently. Okay. We can all be bad, can't we? We can all be bad. Do you know what I mean? We've all, So, anyway, so I just want to address one thing. He said, about going back home. Go back home. This is a comment that we used to get when we were kids. Go back home, go back. And I thought about it. I thought, well, what is home to you? What is home to you? Because I personally, I know I don't need to say this to you, but I'm just going to reiterate it. Because I was born in, I was born in Lambeth. So I was born in London. Therefore, I was born in England, right? I grew up in England. We weren't posh, we weren't rich, so I went to holiday to Clacton. That's right, Ollie, yeah. From Netherlands. Have you gone back? Hi, Martin. Well, all right, mate. Hey, by the way, Martin's asked some questions here. I know people have got a bit angry, but you know what? He's just asking, isn't he? And they're fair questions he's asking, right? They're fair questions he's asking. And Judge James says, I'm fucking home. That's right. I'm English. I was born here, raised here, paid my tax here. I left these shores for the first time when I was 19, when I went on holiday with my girlfriend. First time I left these shores. So go back home. I beg your pardon. And if you're going to say, and if anyone here is going to say, well, you're not English, oh, you fucking, yeah, your parents, yeah, shut up, you twat. Right? Because Carys was born here, all my kids, my four kids were born here, and their parents were born here, right? When their kids will have their parents and grandparents. So how far back are you going to go? How far back? Are you trying to say that, are you trying to say then that you can't possibly be, what you're saying, that you can't possibly be English if you're black? Is that what you're saying? Because do white South Africans feel that? Because I've never heard a white South African say they're not South African, ever. Never heard anyone say that. I see, Martin. Yeah, sorry, my friend. I thought there must be a reason you asked that. I hope, though, that I don't know, and you don't have to tell me, obviously. I would hope your brother hadn't done something like this, and that's why he got those hateful Instagram posts. I hope not. I don't know. You don't have to tell me, but do you know what I mean? I hope not. Sorry, yeah, going back to the home thing. Understand that, you know, whether you like it or not, Indigenous Englishmen, all of you, all of us, all of you, our parents come from somewhere else, right? Oh, not a parent, yeah, our parents, our forefathers, is what I'm saying. Our forefathers come from somewhere else, people. They do. Do you know what I mean? The only difference is when you see my face, you know that my forefathers came from somewhere else more recently, right? But you all come from somewhere else. So if you say, someone's white person says to me, go back home, I'll say, well, this is my home. No, go back home really, really. I'll say, well, you go back really, really fucking home. You go back to Germany then. You go to France. You go back to Scandinavia. Do you know what I mean? Because we're all, get it right, it's a nation of immigrants. And how many generations do you have to be here then before you have to say, I am English? Because I am definitely English. I know there are some, fuck off. I know there are some black people that don't want to say they're not English. And I don't like that either, by the way, right? I don't like that, by the way. It would make life better if we all accepted that we are English. And this, to those that say we aren't. No, we fucking are, mate. We're here. This is our country as well. We're all immigrants. You can just see that we're immigrants. Or you can see that, you know, as I say, our forefathers came from somewhere else more recently. We know it's nonsense. I'm not trying to teach you because you know it's nonsense, right? Because you're not stupid people, you know? But, you know, why are we even having this conversation? Yeah, tonight we should be quizzing and joking and songs and shit and me singing songs badly. But I'm having to talk about this because it's happened, right? And I guess this is a forum for it. So, you know. So what's happening from now? They don't come from, because they don't come from it. They don't know one's ancestors do. And on top of that, by the way, how stupid are you if you don't realise, right? There's 7 billion people in this world today, right? 7 billion people in this world, yeah? 200 years ago, I don't know what figure, I should have maybe looked at a figure 200 years ago. But I know there weren't 7 billion 200 years ago. You know, maybe there was a billion. Don't know, right? 1,000 years ago, 100,000. Do you know what I'm saying? So what you've got is, do you know how cells work, people? We as human beings, we're like cells, right? There's 2. They redouble. There's 4. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Yeah? 128. Doing maths here. 256, etc. 512. But no, do you know 1,024? I'm so clever. But no, the point is, right? Yeah, this happened. There's 2 cells. Boom, boom, boom. So what does that mean, stupid? What does that mean? Regardless of what colour they were, I don't know. I don't know how it happened. I don't know. But one moment there was a few people. Now there's fucking 7 billion of us, right? And we all, I could be related as closely related. Well, obviously that's my sister. Hello, Joy. But thank you, Claire. But there's no, you don't know you're related. You don't know. If Carys, my eldest daughter, who's obviously the subject of this, Carys and Gabby are mixed race because their mum was white, right? I'll talk about Carys because she has a boyfriend. I don't know how they're going to go on, but if they go on to have children, that child will be virtually white in colour, probably, right? Probably. I'm the granddad. That's just a generation. Look at me. I'm pure African. I'm pure African. Both my parents are Ghanaian. Look at me. I'm a dark man, right? That kid will be virtually white. I am his granddad. Yeah? Doesn't it show you the futility? That kid, if he got in with the wrong crowd, let's say, he could end up being black, could be racist, couldn't he? Let's create a silly story, fucking heaven forbid, should something happen to Ricky and Carys, he gets adopted by racist white people who want to spread their racist trash and don't know who his granddad is. Imagine that. Imagine that. And this kid grows up a racist and I'm his granddad. That's how futile it is, isn't it? It's futile, isn't it? We know it's futile. I know I'm telling you what you know. I know that. But other people need to know, don't they? Don't they? Now. It's not difficult, this. It's not difficult, is it? And when you see, as I do, when you see a black person doing bad things, right? That's a person doing bad things who happens to be black. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. It's not me, is it? Not me. When I see a white person doing bad things, ain't fucking whites. Fucking what? No. When my dad's nose was broken by some racists back in the 80s, right? I didn't go back to Tollsbury and have it out with one of my mates or one of my enemies even. Do you know what I mean? I didn't go around to school. You know, as a kid, I was a bit lively. You know, not saying I was a hard man, but I was one of the more confident kids, shall we say, in school. I had a lot of friends. I didn't go to school and say, come on, boys, let's go and kick the shit out of one of the other white kids. Because my dad got his nose broken by a couple of white, Nazis. Of course I didn't. My hate was aimed toward the people who did it. Of course, that's surely, it's too easy, isn't it? Oh, for fuck's sake. These marches, marching, creating... the Extinction Rebellion, did they not get a bit lively? Don't these marches always get like that? Yeah? Black Lives Matter, I didn't care about COVID and the nurses, did they? No, nor did the people on Bournemouth Beach or Southend Beach. Did they, twats? Eh? Did they? Just, you know what I mean? You're just looking for a reason, you're just looking for another excuse. And it's just such a pointless hate. Any hate is. And I'm guilty of prejudice. Well, I think we're all guilty of prejudice, right? But the difference is, when I have a prejudiced thought, seconds later, milliseconds later, I slap myself, right? In my head. Do you know what I'm saying? I straighten myself out. I have thoughts. I'm quite a right-wing thinker, actually. I am, and my politics are actually quite right-wing. But I just correct myself somehow. I think things. All right, I'm going to say it, right? I'm going to say it. Like when it comes to sexuality, I'm a straight man, I'm a geezer. Do you know what I mean? I grew up in a time where my dad didn't even know about... My dad said to me, he said, he said he didn't understand, this is what he said. He said he hadn't even heard or encountered homosexuality until he came over here. That's what he said. Nonsense, but that's what he said, right? And that's... And, I had, as a kid, we didn't. And if someone was gay, we teased him, didn't we? That's what we did. Well, we didn't know anyone was gay, actually, but when it finally came in, that's what we did, right? So that was my indoctrination. That was what I grew up with. So my initial thought, sometimes a negative thought, I've had gay friends since at work or whatever, but my initial thought often has been a homophobic one. That's my initial thought, right? Initial thought. But a split second later, shut up, you twat. I corrected myself. Because that's stupid. I'm brighter than that. Yeah? So you might be indoctrinated. That might be your initial thought, but you have the power to correct it very quickly. Yeah? Don't tell me you're indoctrinated. Don't tell me that was taught. That's why my dad was. That's why my old man. Even people say, my old man, like, he's from that age, from that time. Bollocks. I've said that. I've made that excuse. It's bollocks. Correct yourself. I'm from that time. Correct yourself. That's all you got to do. Correct yourself. I don't know. Is anyone's dad saying to them when their wife or girlfriend, when they have a row, is anyone out there, has their father said to you, give her a right-hander, son? Give her a right-hander. Because your granddad will have been from a time where it was probably quite reasonable to give your wife a right-hander. I don't think anyone's saying that, are they? Is anyone saying that? Oh, it's where he's from, he comes from someone where you could give your missus a right-hander. Just let him go, let it go. No, of course don't let it go. It's wrong, isn't it? It's wrong. There's no two ways about it. It's simply wrong. Stop being wrong. People need to stop being wrong. Yeah? And if we're not, and I've said this before, do you know what? I believe we'll just get wiped out. So I'm not sure what I believe in, but I just believe there's something bigger than us. Bigger than us. And I believe that if we don't start fucking the unity, treating the earth and everything better that's on it, that's been given to us, this wonderful life we have, if we don't, we're just going to get wiped off it. That's what I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's not. But maybe I'm talking shit, but it doesn't matter, does it? Let's all believe that. Why not? Why not? I mean, I'm not religious, but do you know what? The one good thing about the kids that I know are religious, at least the one good thing about me is I don't believe in it, but it means they do better things. So if that's what it takes, hey, go to church if that's what it takes. If it means you do better things, go to church. It means it cures you of your hatred, go to church. It's not for me, but you know what? I'm not a wanker. Maybe I am. But you know what I'm saying, right? Guys, I think I've probably talked round and round and round. I mean, hey, if you've got any questions, I don't actually know what time it is, because usually, well, I do, because I've got to watch them. Oh, it's quite late now. If you want to ask me anything, actually, I'll tell you what, I wrote a poem, not today, but in 1996. And it's funny how this happened. This was in 1996. I just want to read a little bit of it. Because, do you know what? I'm going to read it all, right? If you don't mind, I'm going to read it all. I wrote this in 1996. It's called Waking Up to Reality. It's called Waking Up to Reality. I'll read it to you, right? I'll read it quickly because I don't want to bore you. But anyway, we're told the world is round and we know the sky's blue. But who prepares us for the reality and the things that people do? As I sit alone in the sunshine, for a moment peace prevails. But the track is growing ever hard. Can I remain on the rails? The problem is direction, not knowing where to go. The solution surely is love. But will I ever know? For love is a great mystery, so hard to quantify, but so easy to say, but impossible to buy. Now hatred's a different matter, an emotional hit and run. The seeds of resentment are sown, and the growth of hate's begun. But the victim's the innocent party, an unarmed son of war, a war that I've now entered through the segregation door. But I am not prepared for this, for my weapons are weak and few. My opponents have the strategy to break my heart in two. Perhaps they look no further than their own initial gain, but as their blows come raining in, can they imagine my pain? Please stop now, I beg of them. Please let me state my case, for your motives are superficial and have no solid base. Some wars are unavoidable, but some should never start. Bear your steel if you must, but please avoid my heart. For we reap what we sow. I've learned this to my cost. I've felt God's retribution. I've loved and I have lost. And now I've learned my lesson, and I can sin no more. So please, I ask, don't hang me, for I've broken no laws. Unless to love's a sin, and to give one's all is a crime. If so, please throw away the key, and I will serve my time. We know the world is round, and whatever will be, will be. And love is your possession, please use it carefully. So I wrote that in 1996 about a situation that I was involved in, obviously involving race. 1996, 24 years ago. And today, still relevant. Glad I didn't throw it away, saved me writing another, eh? Anyway, on that note, I think it's time for me to go. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Keep fucking doing the right thing, really, I think is the message. It's tiring, it's exhausting, isn't it? I'll be here tomorrow night. Love you, Carys, darling. Of course I love you. You don't want to see your kids crying, do you? Not when they're nearly 30. Do you know what I mean? It's not nice, is it? Thank you, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be back. Same time. You know how it works, guys. I'll be here. And tomorrow we'll have some fun again. Can we have some fun again? Hopefully it won't be like this, because hopefully nothing else will happen. If anything else has happened, tomorrow will be a very different day for a lot of people, I imagine. So, thank you. And thank you. And love you, Gabs. Thank you. And, thank you so much. Mwah. Love you all. And so see you tomorrow. We'll bring the fun back, right? See you guys. Bye-bye.